Welcome to day 4 of My Chicago Golf's Indoor Golf Challenge. Thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate all the videos you guys have been sending, you guys practicing at home. So just keep them coming. Join our community if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. So yesterday in day 3, I was giving a general overview of how to build a golf swing. Today I want to go into detail with how to build the proper backswing. I'm going to show you some slow motion video analysis of some of my favorite players. I wanted to show you Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Thomas, and Jason Day. And then I want to give you some ways that you could practice and some checkpoints that you can look for in a mirror to help build a sound and functional backswing. So let's go ahead and get started. So the concept for day 4 is backswing checkpoints. Let's talk about why the backswing is so important. The backswing is important because it helps us put our body in the golf club in a position to swing towards the target with speed. And that's where solid golf shots come from. So in order for us to have a good backswing, there's a few things that we have to do. The first one, we have to be very mindful with how we bring the golf club back in the first few feet of the golf swing. I'm talking right here about the takeaway. I'm going to show you some video examples here in a second of really good golfers, how they bring the club back. But what you're going to notice from them, there's not going to be a lot of manipulation in the club face. So as they bring that golf club back, the club face stays looking at the ball for the first couple feet of the swing. All right? That does a few things. One, it helps us control the direction, okay, of the face. So if we roll the face open, the ball's more likely to go to the right, or if we bring it back excessively close, it's more likely to go left. So one is direction. The other, when we keep the club face quiet, it sets up the shape of our backswing. So our downswing tends to be the opposite of our backswing. So players that bring the club back flat, they tend to come down steep. Players that bring the golf club back excessively steep, they tend to have the club flatten out. And so if you roll your hands right here in the first part of the swing, you're going to have a flat backswing. So having that good takeaway gives us an on-plane backswing to help us come down and swing towards the target. The final piece I want to show you too is how to go from this good takeaway to a good position at the top. I see a lot of golfers do really well from the golf ball to club parallel to the ground, but then they struggle in the second half of this backswing. Instead of allowing their body to turn and the club to go over their shoulder, they'll start to have the arms move independently, their body stops turning, and that gives them some trouble coming down. So let's look at this video analysis of Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Thomas, and Jason Day, and let's figure out some drills to help you with your backswing. So let's start off with looking at Tommy Fleetwood's golf swing. I want to draw a line through the shaft going back over here on the right side. We're actually going to zoom over on this right-hand side first. And let's just see, how is he bringing this golf club back in that first part of the swing? So right here in the first 2 or 3 feet, we could see where that golf club is pointed. It is still looking down at that ball. There's not a lot going on with his hands in the first couple feet of the swing. The checkpoint that I like to give people with the club face is at club parallel to the ground. So right below the waist, we're going to see that the leading edge, if we zoom in, okay, the leading edge of that golf club is pretty close to matching his spine angle. All right? So that is a square club face. We look over on the right-hand side of the screen, and what we'll see is a little bit of width. So there's some space right there between his hands and his body, and he has that good triangle shape that we talked about yesterday, you know, between his arms and his shoulders. So that kind of that classic one-piece takeaway. Now, let's look at another one here. Let's look at Justin Thomas. Now, I'm going to show you in future videos how to set up a camera so that way we have good angles, so that way we can accurately look at your golf swing. But I'm just drawing a line through the shaft of his club over on the right. We could zoom in a little bit here. And let's just look and let's see what's going on here. That golf club, it's still looking at that ball. There's not much going on with his hands. So very similar to what we saw with Tommy Fleetwood having that club face. Pretty darn close to matching the spine right here in the takeaway. And then we look, hey, when is that shaft parallel to the ground? Right over here on the right, he has that space, and he has that triangle shape. Okay. Then, let's look over here. Jason Day. Same idea. Just drawing that line through the shaft. Let's see, how's this golf club going back? It's a good camera angle right here. Typically, you'll see the shaft ride the plane line going back. But same thing, that golf club, it's looking down at that ball. This leading edge, it's matching his spine. We look over on the right-hand side of the screen, that club's parallel to the ground. We have space. We have that same triangle. All right. So very, very similar ways with how they bring these golf clubs back. Jason Day has the best camera angle on this one. And so when he's bringing that golf club back, you'll see that club, it just goes up that yellow line. And the checkpoint that I want you guys to look for in a mirror is halfway, or I should say, when the club is parallel to the ground right here, I want to see that the club head and the hands cover each other. Club head and the hands are right on top of each other at this point in the swing. Okay. Now let's look at the top of these swings. So once they have that good takeaway, their body is going to continue to rotate. All right, it's turning. Their body rotates, and so as they finish their swing, their hands will go up and over their shoulder. Okay? And so when the hands go up and over their shoulder, okay, as they've made their turn, they're in a really good spot here at the top, and it almost makes what I would describe as this triangle shape between the elbows at the top. This is something to look for in a mirror. We want to make that triangle. We also have a really nice square club face here at the top, where the leading edge of that club is pretty darn close to matching that left arm. I want it square to close. Let's look at Justin Thomas's. Okay, so then we draw a circle with his hands, and then we go up to the top. And again, you'll see that the club is going up, but also back. So it's not going directly up, it's not going really flat, it's going up over his shoulder. And again, he's going to have that same triangle shape. And then if we look at Jason Day, he's making a shorter swing. He's a little bit closer. Now, if he was making a longer swing, his hands would keep going and they'd be all the way up there. But again, just generally speaking, the hands are going to go up over the shoulder. So if he made a little bit of a longer swing, we would see even more of this triangle right here. But those are our checkpoints to look for in a mirror. Okay, so after watching that video analysis, let's talk about how to do this in your living room. One of my favorite drills is setting up to the ball or the tee, get balanced, get comfortable. I then want you to take an alignment stick and I want you to put it pretty much on your toe line. All right? And what I want you to feel when you're bringing this golf club back, I want you to feel like your shoulders are bringing the club back. There's not going to be a lot of independent motion in your arms. So shoulders, arms, club, they go back together, and I want you to pause when the club is parallel to the ground. And what we're looking for in the mirror, a couple things. Hands cover the club head. So here, club head's inside of my hands. Here, the club head's excessively outside of my hands. Right here is where we want to be. the next checkpoint that we're looking for, we want to see that this leading edge is matching my spine. Here it's open, the leading edge is pointed up to the sky. Here it's matching my spine, it's still looking down at the ball, and then here it's closed, it's pointed all the way down to the ground. The question I get a lot is, do you hinge your wrist going back? And there is a gradual hinge as we're starting to bring this golf club back. So when you're matching this up, I do want to see a little bit of bend in the back of your trail hand, my right hand. And right here, we're in a good spot. So right here's where we want to be. From this position, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to finish our body turn as the hands go over your shoulder. Boom. And when I do this, there's not a lot of manipulation going on with the club face. I'm turning and the hands are going over the shoulder. And then you can swing through. So, I know I got this drill when I was 11 years old, and I practiced a lot of this. And I know this has really helped me out with my backswing. So, this is my cat, Elliot. All right. So, bring it back, pause, check the club face, match it up. Just do it over and over again from here to here and reset. Here to here. If you're looking at yourself in the front, we want a little bit of width. Watch this one. This is too much width. All right? That club's really far away from my body. I just want a little bit of space. I have the triangle. And then again, we are turning up to the top. When I do this, or another way you can do this, take your left hand off, put it right behind your elbow, turn up to the top, and like right here is a good functional position at the top of the swing. When you're also doing this, when you're doing this, and you go up to the top, okay, you're gonna start to see that triangle. Your left arm, it'll match your shoulders. So right here's too low. My left arm's below my shoulders. Right here's neutral, and up here's pretty high. So let's see if we can make that triangle. And then you could do your pause drills. You could go right here, pause, check, swing back, hit the tee. We're going back here, pause, check, swing back, hit the tee. So those are 2 checkpoints for you to help you with your backswing. I don't think these could be overdone. So I would do these daily. I would incorporate these pause and these checkpoints into the routine that we talked about in day 1. So continue to practice, continue to swing, and send me those videos. Have a good day.